Here now with reaction, former Trump senior advisor Stephen Miller, the host of Outkick's Tomi Lahren is Fearless, Tomi Lahren, and Michigan Congressman John James. He was with President Trump in Michigan earlier today. Tomi, let me begin with you. You know, if you remember the big deal over targeted districts when Governor, then Vice Presidential candidate Sarah Palin talked about it. Okay, a term used by Democrats, Republicans alike. Okay, now the word bloodbath. Joe Biden uses it. Nobody cares. Donald Trump uses it. He's calling for violence. It just shows how corrupt the media is. What is your reaction to it?
Well, I'll tell you this. Today, former President Donald Trump reclaimed the narrative on the word bloodbath as he repeated it in reference to Joe Biden's border bloodbath, wherein Americans and migrants alike are dying at the hands of this administration's border policies. Donald Trump won the election in 2016 on immigration. His chant of build the wall resonated with voters. It resonated with Americans because at that time we felt like we had an immigration crisis. Now flash forward to where we are now, and what we had back then looks like child's play. Donald Trump can win the election in November if he hits on crime and illegal immigration. If he stays focused on those two issues, including the economy, he can win this election. And he's going to reclaim these words. He's not going to run from them. He's going to set the record straight because that's what this president, our former president, did. And that's what he's going to do again. And that will lead him to victory if he stays on that message.
Congressman, you look at the human trafficking, the sex trafficking, the drug trafficking, the people coming from our top geopolitical foes. And my understanding is your state of Michigan is urging residents to, adopt unvetted Joe Biden illegal immigrants and bring them into their home and you'll get a paycheck?
Yeah, Tommy, you absolutely nailed it. The things that we need to absolutely focus on are the things the president's focused on. Increase illegal immigration, increase crime. Right now, Venezuela's crime has gone down 60%. You know where it's going up? In American cities. When you see all across the country that we don't just have a border crisis. Every state is a border state. Every town is a border town. And in every day is October 6th, like it was in Israel, or September 10th, like it was in the United States of America. When you take a look at what Sean just said, when he mentioned that the risk of an imminent attack is there, it absolutely is. When you see what happened in Russia, when you see what's happening with Chinese illegals coming across, when you see what's happening in our communities, you look at this open season on America. We just found 41 kilos of fentanyl in southeast Michigan today. That's enough to kill 10.3 million people in the entire state of Michigan. And we're losing beautiful souls like Ruby Garcia, Jonathan Diller, and we need to do everything that we can to make sure that we bring peace, make sure that we secure our borders. And Joe Biden is absolutely not doing it. I believe he's compromised, and we need to have a new president November 5th.
Okay, let me go to James Carville, Steve Miller, if I can, because I want to, his quote. Usually when James Carville speaks, I think we should listen to him. And you have people like James Carville and Maureen Dowd and Van Jones and David Axelrod. They've all in their own way been very critical of Biden. And Carville talking about the Democratic Party seeing horrifying numbers show a loss of young minority voters. We have seen this in poll after poll. The traditional base of the Democratic Party is eroding by 20 percentage points. African Americans, Hispanic Americans, young Americans are leaving the Democratic Party. Can you pinpoint the reason why, or is it a combination? Is it law and order and safety and security and the border and the economy or national security, all the above? What do you see?
I think it's the fact that young people in this country under Biden do not see themselves as having the same future as their parents or anywhere close to it, including, of course, minority voters, young black, young Hispanic, young Asian voters. People cannot afford to buy their first home. People cannot afford to pay their rent. People do not have any money left over at the end of the month to save for the future. You have students who went to college, took enormous debts. They can't find a job anywhere. And then people who moved into cities, Democrat cities, thinking that they would chase some kind of dream, are living in filth. They're living in degeneracy. They're living in crime. And then they watch as illegal aliens come into this country and steal their dreams, their futures, their hopes, their safety, their security. They see young women like Laken Riley getting beaten to death, murdered in cold blood, and the alleged murderer, an illegal alien freed into this country by Joe Biden, a monster brought here by Joe Biden. That is why this president is losing minority voters and losing young voters, because they saw under President Trump 4 years of unprecedented peace, stability, and prosperity, the most secure border, the strongest border in history. And then they saw Joe Biden eradicate and steal from them, take from them all of the security, all of the peace, all of the safety they have known, and hurtle this war towards the brink of a complete and total breakdown, not just in our security here, but the brink of war breaking out amongst all the developed nations of the world. You see now we are closer to World War III than ever before.
You know, when you think, Congressman, how many more rapes are going to happen in this country? How many more murders will take place in this country? How many more big drug busts are going to take place in this country? How about the human trafficking, sex trafficking of young girls? How much longer are people going to put up with this? And that raises the question, the state of Michigan will be pivotal in 216 days. How do you see the people in Michigan in terms of their thinking about all of these issues?
When Donald Trump was president of the United States, we exported energy. We exported our culture. Under Joe Biden, we're exporting our hope. We're exporting our jobs. In the state of Michigan, we recognize that we are a border state, too, our northern border. And of the 500 apprehensions on the FBI watch list, 86% are in northern border states, states like New York, states like Michigan. We recognize that President Biden is a threat to not just our security, but our economy, our ability to take care of our families and our futures. And people in Michigan are waking up. You see all the polls in Michigan because people understand what is at stake. This is about not just this election. And the Democrats like to talk about the future of our democracy. Yeah, these are the same people who are trying to take a president off the ballot, who are trying to lock him up, who are trying to seize his assets, and trying to meddle in GOP primaries. These are the same people who want you to believe, who are trying to gaslight you into believing that they are the protectors of democracy. Well, they only care about power, and Michigan is awake to it. And we are not going to fall for the same dirty tricks that we did in the past.
Hope you're right, Congressman. Thank you. Thank you, Tomi Lahren. Thank you, Stephen Miller. We appreciate you all being with us. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.